Farming is usually a restricted occupation in Thailand.
I'm the old school from Australia.
Yeah.
You know, we basically almost got to have 1 foot in the grave for us to stop.
So this is definitely one way to travel when you're on the farm. You said your family used to be farmers. Was it in beef or not?
Bigger than mine.
This is your ignition.
Yeah, beauty, isn't it?
There you go.
And by the time I was 4 years old, I could drive a tractor and a car. Oh yeah, the other 5% that aren't happy, right, are alcoholics or drug addicts.
Yeah.
But they lost their government funding on the third go, and they had to close it down.
How do you feel then about getting older then here? Like, what are your thoughts about getting 80s, 90s? How are you thinking about that?
My income from my rental properties in Australia is...
So today I'm here in Yasathorn province, out in the middle of this very, very rural, quaint Thailand village. And I'm going to be talking to a friend of mine, Colin. Colin has been here for a number of years and he's got a Wagu beef farm operation on the go here. And he's going to be showing us around the farm and telling us a little bit about how he ended up in Thailand. I'm excited to chat with him because it's also something I don't know much about, farming beef and how you take care of the cows and the feed and things like that. I have no idea about it. So I learn as much as you guys do, and I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I do. So let's go and have a chat with Colin and have a look around the farm. So your wife was original people here.
She was born in that house. Well, not that house. I'll show you the photos when we go inside the house.
And it used to be a jungle, and they cut it all back and made it into this area.
So what used to happen was, the government used to say, you go in there, whatever land you can cut down, you peg it, put pegs in, we come out and that's yours. It's a king's lease. It's called tropical land. It's not owned by them, it's leasehold, family leasehold land.
How many rye do you have in total, Colin?
Under contract, I have 200 rye. I have 60 here at the farm, and then about, depending on the season and what crops we put in, another 140 rye. So
you started building this house 2 weeks before COVID hit?
Took 3 years to build it.
Oh, really?
So we lived in that shack down the road there on the corner for 3 years until we moved in here. This was meant to take 6 months, but our contractor came from Konkan and there was no one around here. He couldn't get staff around here to work, you know, with enough experience, so we had to wait. And it just took forever.
And how long have you been in Thailand in total?
Since 2018. Had a year in Pattaya, and we had a hairdressing salon there. That's where I met my wife. And we used to come up here for holidays, sort of thing. I did fly in, fly out of Australia. I was still working in the mines. I'm a builder by trade. I was born on a farm, okay? I always wanted to go back to it, right, as a retirement thing, as a hobby farmer, basically. It's turned into a little bit bigger than a hobby farm, as you'll see later. But I'm hoping in the future that I'm prepared to start farms now if the Thai people are prepared to follow, right, and I'll give them the cattle for free. I advise the Department of Agriculture here. They're the head, right through the minister, and then a sub-branch of the Agriculture Department is the Livestock Department. Okay, so I advise the Livestock Department about what I think, just my input, right, and they have a unique insight into a Farang from the outside world, with beef being an international market now, because the Thais have opened the market up now to Australian beef, and it looks like United States. I doubt whether United States beef will come here because Thailand has strict criteria about the use of antibiotics and growth hormones in cattle, and 90% of the cattle in the USA are produced that way.
And your situation is quite a special situation because farming is usually a restricted occupation in Thailand, but you're actually with a work permit hired in as an expert.
Licensed to produce. I don't compete with the local farmers here because what I do, they don't do. We're trying to develop the premium beef market here because at the moment Thailand imports 50,000 tonnes of premium beef into Thailand because they don't produce it here. They do, but in very, very small quantities. It's less than 1% of the market. So what we're trying to do is transition now so we start producing premium beef, but the government's really got to put some money into it. I've asked for 300 million baht. to put licensed abattoirs in, ISO approved international standard abattoirs into Thailand.
Lovely. So this is your ribeye.
Yeah, that's marble score 4 ribeye.
Marble score 4, right?
Yeah. I'll get a couple of these out because I know that's the right one for my wife. Look at that, beautiful.
Lovely. So this is Colin's place here. The inside is custom built from the COVID days. Take you a quick walk around. The focus really of this vlog is the farm, not so much Colins House. But he's got a TV set up here, kitchen set up for cooking the steaks. So you've got a modern, very large open plan kitchen here actually. When you custom build, you can really give it as much space as you want. This is...
They pull out of the nest, and the nest 10 metres up in my shed. So I'll bring them back here.
Okay.
And I'll feed them until they start flying, and then I'll let them go. The book says they probably won't survive in the wild, but I'll take them back. We've got a colony of minor birds down at the farm, and I'll make a little bird cage up for them, and they can go and hide in there.
I felt like in this interview it's better to catch Colin on the go rather than try and pin him down to a location or like a very structured walk around like I usually do, simply because he's so busy. He's just like dotting from one job to another. So I felt that this one, I'm just going to grab him where I can to get the information and the story for you guys. So you got to see a little bit of Colin's place there as well. Very comfortable, all of your Western amenities out here, but I suspect he spends very little time here, and most of his time is spent on the farm with his cows.
So this, yeah.
This is you guys getting married. When was this?
2018.
2018.
This is Mum. This is Knock.
Yep.
That's her auntie that just died in the house fire in Bangkok.
Okay.
We were very close. That's the original house of Knock's grandfather who settled this village.
Right.
He built that by hand after he cleared all the land. They came from a little village about 15 k's from here. Him and his brother cleared all the land in this village.
This is you, Knock?
Yeah.
From when you got the, is that from degree from university or?
No,
Hairdressing.
Hairdress.
Oh, from hairdressing, yeah. Do you miss it?
There you go. Look, there's your certificates.
There's your
Couldn't go hair
certificate.
designer school.
You don't want to do here? Hairdressing?
She does my hair, it takes like an hour.
So just before we continue this vlog with Colin around his Wagu beef farm, you guys know on this channel I talked a lot about mushrooms, and in particular fruiting body mushrooms. These are my reishi. I take these reishi every single night. I'll pop a couple usually just before bed when I want to get a really good sleep. There are many studies out there now showing the benefits of reishi, and I know many of my subscribers have tried fruiting body lion's mane. Lion's mane for me is about being creative. It's about turning my brain on. It's about being focused. But there's also a lot of science behind it. If you've been watching this channel for any length of time, you'll be familiar with the Queensland University study in Australia, which showed the impact of lion's mane on nerve regeneration and its potential for improving memory. Lion's mane is one of those all-rounders. It's one of those that my subscribers report back to me that they can feel after taking almost immediately. But if you are going to start your mushroom supplementation journey, make sure that you find a high extract ratio. You want a supplement that does not have starch fillers, does not have mycelium on grain, and is actually pure fruiting body. I also receive plenty of feedback from you guys, and I really appreciate you giving me that feedback because it helps me recommend these mushrooms to other subscribers. You can find my link in the pinned comment and the description below. They now ship worldwide. Shipping can be a little bit high if you're getting it into the US or the UK or Australia, so it's better to get a decent supply. Or if you're in Thailand, you can get them on Shopee or Lazada. You can shoot them a message in the chat and say that Ryan sent you. And as ever, I really appreciate it if you let me know how you get on. And now, let's get back to Colin.
We had an outbreak of lumpy skin disease which originated from Turkey. in the Middle East. We progressed across Asia and got into Thailand in 2020, and it's a disease which doesn't affect the meat or anything, but they end up getting lumps on their skin and getting a high fever. And because the Thai farmers don't have the money to call a vet, a lot of the cows were dying. So once I found out about this, within 48 hours I had the vaccine from Turkey, from the manufacturer, on a jumbo jet and at Bangkok airport.
Right. So you're able to save a lot of the cows?
Yes, we reckon we saved 1 million cattle.
And this here is all your food, and this is kind of mission critical, right, to everything that you do?
Depending on the time of year, what we're feeding, we make up our own feed. We're commercially not viable to buy ready-made feed from feed mills. We make all our top grade feed here for about 40% cheaper than I can buy it, or anybody can buy it from a feed mill, because that's their profit margin, basically. And then I get to know exactly what's in my feed, and I can manipulate a certain shed, a certain type of cow. I can, to a certain degree, manipulate their growth rates by adding more protein or more energy to their diet. I can achieve what I want to achieve. So we're always thinking ahead at least 6 months on the farm. Okay, so all the feed we buy in bulk, so it comes 15 to 30 tonnes at a time. Okay, and the amount of feed you see here, just to give you some idea, is about 300,000 baht.
Okay.
Okay, and this will last the farm about 3 months.
Okay.
All right, corn distillers grains.
Okay.
Okay, this is actually imported from the United States, and they also do grow it here. So it's the leftover residue from making whiskey.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So any alcohol that's made from corn, okay, is the leftover is very high in protein, about 30% protein.
Yep.
Extremely high in energy, 15 megajoules. Give you some idea, grass is about 10. Okay, so it's 50% more efficient than grass. Okay. Good old soybean meal, which is a standard queen of feeds throughout the world.
That's this stuff here?
Yeah, that's that stuff there.
Soybean.
45% protein. And we blend that for our younger cows. We have a standard mix that we mix at about 12% protein. And then depending on what I want the protein level to be in the final composition, I will add certain types of the feed, right, to make up what I want.
Okay.
And it's all science-based. So I have all these feed manuals from the USA, Australia, all got to do with Wagyu, computer programs. I try to achieve 1 kilogram a day of growth weight on my male Wagyu steers at 12 months of age.
Okay.
Okay, basically up until they're 12 months, 14 months of age, they stay with their mums and they eat grass and a little bit of concentrate, just to transition. And then I'll show you later the transition sheds where they move from one shed to the next shed to the next shed, and their feed will change. You'll see me today change their feed. And we have measuring cups. We know the measuring cup's like a kilo. A cup of this is a kilo, so my staff know how much to put in.
Perfect. So this is palm kernel meal, yeah.
So this is the residue of crushing up and getting the oil and making palm oil. Okay, very well, palm trees are not very environmentally friendly, because they cut a lot of rainforest down in the world to grow this stuff. So I figure that at least I'm using the byproduct of it. And this is very, very cost efficient. It's only 5.5 baht a kilo. Okay. And it's 15% protein and about 11 megajoules of energy. So bang for buck, this is your best feed. But that being said, it's very unpalatable to the cattle. It's very dry and they don't like it.
So you're going to put a little bit in, sneak it in.
You've got to mix it with other feeds to make them eat it.
This is B-grade soybean meal.
Yeah, it's whole cooked soybeans that are not good enough to make oil from, and they grind them up. And this is very cost efficient feed, very high in fat, 20% fat. We use this on our finishing bulls, right, because it's high in iolic acid, right, which is the marbling in your beef. So the more of this they eat, the higher the marbling.
Perfect.
So everything is, you are what you eat.
Yeah.
Okay? Right. So the cows are what they eat. So if you know the science of the beef and the meat, you can then match the feed that is high in that particular ingredient and feed it to your cows. And trust me, it works. The outside of cassava, so when the cassava goes to the factory to make flour, they chip it, they take the skin off, okay? It's called cassava peel. Now it's particularly high, reasonably high in energy, around 10 megajoules, very low in protein, so it's what we call a great blend food, but it's high in moisture. So the high moisture balances with the really dry feed, because I like to feed my cows at about 50% moisture.
Okay.
All right, dry feed, they waste too much, they spill it everywhere, and they'll actually consume more feed if it's wet. So this is the finished product here. So this is our base feed, which is 50% cassava, 50% palm kernel meal, 400 grams of calcium dicalcium phosphate, and 1 part salt. Okay, and then we will add these other feed additives to it to increase the protein and energy levels depending on what age the cow is and stage at the farm. Okay. So the biggest market is right next door, right here, China. Now China is 800 kilometres from here.
Yep.
Now I have done 5 years ago. I did the exercise of actually flying beef from Ubon Ratchathani, right? Chilled beef, or what we call primals, chilled, on an aeroplane, and it was viable to do so. But I cannot get the license to do so because the abattoir that I slaughter my beef at is not big enough to handle the volumes that would be required. Okay. So I've asked the Thai government, right, to start investing in abattoirs, right? I'm going to bite the bullet here and put in my own abattoir this year. We've already started the groundwork. It will be a project with the Yasathon Livestock Department.
So they can have a precedent and learn how it's done? Yes.
The only way you can get premium beef is with 2 breeds of cattle. It's with Angus and Wagyu. That's it. I call the black revolution, because they're black cows, has already started.
Yep. It's
all about this, money. The farmers don't have the capital to do it properly or correctly. We're going to set up 30 abattoirs, 1 in each province that has cattle. And most provinces have cattle, okay?
But the wrong type of cattle?
Yes. But 95% of the cow herd in Thailand, there's 10 million of them, are Brahman. Right, which is Bos Indicus. Okay, they produce lean beef. Now, there's nothing wrong with that beef. Okay, to a market that likes lean beef. Okay, the premium market doesn't like lean beef. Well, they do in some respects, but it's all about marbling. That's the intermuscular fat that's in between the meat. And premium beef starts at 3 and it goes up to 10. My humble opinion, and the customers that our farm has, and numerous, and I cannot keep up with demand for my beef here at the farm, is marble score 3 to 4, which is the bottom end, okay? But it's the right amount of beef, the right amount of flavour, and Thailand's got excellent feed here, right? Good growing conditions. About grass, okay, grass is 7 months a year because we have a drought here every year. It's called the dry season. Unless they've got access to water, it's going to be extremely difficult for them to grow a second crop. But there is what we call margin crops that they can do. They can put in a legume crop as they're finishing their rice. 25 baht a kilo for the seed. It's called sun hemp. Has a taproot that goes down 2 metres. You don't need to water it. It's a legume, so it takes nitrogen out of the air and puts it in the ground, equivalent to half a bag of urea per rye.
So it fertilises for the next crop?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Adds biomass to the soil, organic matter.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually donated to the village here, right, 80,000 bahts worth of seed last year. I had one farmer come and pick it up because the rest didn't know what to do. I've still got I used most of the seed myself.
Yep.
The person that used it, right, their crop is looking really good, right? They've noticed the difference.
Yep.
I did a field trial for the university 2 years ago with sun hemp. Okay, their yields went from less than 300 kilos of rice per rye, paddy rice, which is, mate, marginal. Okay, extremely marginal. They're making no money. They might as well rent the land and go and buy their rice at the 7-Eleven. Vietnam produces 1,000 tonnes of rye. They know what they're doing. They've got better access to water, better farming techniques, whatever. The rice farmers around here are subsistence farmers, and they will not change until they can't grow enough rice to eat. Very few in my village, I can only speak for my village here, which I know intimately. We only have 2 rice farmers here that actually sell their excess rice. And it's most of it is sold to people around this area. They don't sell it to the big mills. So this isn't a huge rice production area because we are not under an irrigation scheme here. So to cut a long story short, their yield went from less than 300 to 450 in 1 year.
Okay, 50% increase.
And they did nothing different. And they don't use fertiliser around here because it's cost prohibitive. When I first come to the farm here, a bag of urea was 475 baht for 50 kilos. It's now 850 baht. And the farming prices of anything for your product have gone down.
Yep.
So they're all broke.
Yep.
Okay? They borrowed money or they've been farming. The biggest problem here is it's going to take time, but over time, and it's transitioning now, you're going to find the farms will go from average size of 10 rye to 100 because there's going to be farmers now that give up. So as the old people die, right, out of 10, say 10 old people die, okay, 1 should only get the land, not 20, because it's not feasible. Right, they give
it to the children, they give it to the kids, right? And then it splits the plots into smaller and smaller plots, and you can't sustain it, right?
Oh, it's impossible.
Yeah,
you can't. We've worked out a minimum, and I've spoken to the number 1 farmer in the village here, Tui, who you just met here. He owns a workshop. He's got rubber, he's got rice, he's got 150 rye. That he farms actually for other people, because a lot of them, what they do is they go, if they don't own the land, they go 50-50 with the rice. So the people might not live here, they're working away in Bangkok, or they're elderly ladies and their backs are buggered from bending over planting rice in the old days. There's a lot of what I call stoop women here.
Yep.
And they will give him the land to use for free, but they get half the rice. But he's planting jack beans, right, which is a legume, right? I use sun hemp, but he uses jack beans. And he's getting 600 kilos of rice per rye, paddy rice per rye.
He's making it work.
He's making it work, because every year he does it. He's got organic matter. His soil's beautiful profile. Okay, it's good soil. It's down near the river. He's got access to a river, and he has money. Money's the biggest thing here, but they need to consolidate the farm size here, and it will naturally happen, because as people say, hey, this is a waste of time, I'm better off getting a job for 400 baht a day working than slaving my guts out in the hot sun. And we've moved past that. Okay, everything they do by hand can be done with a machine. They can plant rice with a machine, but you would have to have maybe 1,000 rye to make it viable. To go, you stack the rice in the machine. Have you seen it done? And they just drive through the rice paddies, and it boom, 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 hand planting done by a machine.
Yeah.
Okay, they've moved past that. The biggest problem is that there's subsistence. They live from day to day. They don't have bank accounts, and what they have is in their pocket, cash. Right? Not saying they're not happy. I think 95% of them are happy.
Yeah.
The other 5% that aren't happy, right, are alcoholics or drug addicts.
Yeah. The actual farm area where we just were, where you prepare the food, that looks like some kind of school or government building. What is that?
Oh, next door, that's a school. And Knock gave them the land to build the school.
Okay.
All this land was in my wife's name. Okay. She gave the land to her father and mother-in-law, and then their family built the school. It was a Catholic school.
Okay.
Okay. They had 3 attempts at making it work, but they lost their government funding on the 3rd go, and they had to close it down. Okay. And the deal was that if they closed the school, she got the land back. Now, I pay them, I don't use all the land there and I don't use all the buildings. I give them a little bit of money every month because to me I'm renting that place.
Yeah.
And it's integral for my making my feed that I have that.
Yeah.
So, and it helped. I could get by without it. I'd have to go and build another shed somewhere. I've got more land down the road here. I'd have to build another shed, but I'm happy to pay them 2,000 baht a month.
Yeah.
Right.
So the classrooms are still set up. It
It
could be rereopened as a school one day, couldn't it?
I am going to use it in the future as a learning school. I'm on side with the livestock head veterinarian in Yasathon.
Yeah.
And I have suggested to him that we have a school here. If you provide me with the staff, and I know one staff who can speak reasonable English, I'm happy to teach for free, for nothing, right? Farming techniques, not just cow farming.
Yeah.
I know enough about all the other types of rice farming and
which you've had to as a part of cow farming, right?
Oh yeah, because it's all
the
about
production of the food and
it's all about the nutrition in the soil.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the big problem is they've just taken everything out of the soil and put nothing back, and that's not going to change until one day they go, oh, it's costing me more to put the seed and everything in. They don't use fertiliser; they can't afford it.
Yeah.
They're growing rice here around this area here. And it's very poor soil. You can see the soil here.
Yep.
It's sandy, right? It's got hardly any organic matter in it. And they need to build the organic matter up. And the only way they can do that is by bringing it in, which is very expensive, like cow shit, or growing legume crops and ploughing the legume crops back into the ground.
Yep.
And over time, it's called intercropping or cover cropping. Over time, my friend does it. He's one of the few that do it. But it is slowly catching on. The real shame about it is the sun hemp seed, most of the world production for sun hemp seed is in Thailand. 95% of it is exported. Even my seed guru, who's from New Zealand, cannot believe for 25 baht a kilo, they are not spreading it on their rice just before they harvest. Whilst the ground is still, what you do, you use about 8 to 10 kilos of seed per rye.
Yep.
If you're not going to plough and put it in, and I suggest they don't plough, the worst thing for your soil, kills all the microorganisms in the soil, is leave your soil alone, okay? Grow a crop, right, that improves your soil without tillage, okay? And you will end up over time, doesn't happen overnight, but about 5 years' time, you'll end up with black topsoil about this thick. Okay, and that's without ploughing. That is the modern way of doing it. And they do that with corn now in the United States. They intercrop the corn now. They end up with slightly lower yields of corn, but they don't use any bloody fertiliser. Okay, so they actually make more money. And the legume crops, if they've got cattle, a lot of the corn farmers now have a cattle herd because they are grazing the stalks after they take the corn cobs out. Right, and part of the corn cobs is the legumes. Legumes are 25 to 30% protein for cattle. It's like a Milo bar for cows. Okay, it's absolutely number one top feed. Okay, so if we can get that happening, that's sort of related to cattle, but it's more of a farming thing. But everything's related. It's about keeping a balance in the soil. And at the moment, there's a huge negative balance. I can show you land around here, not far from here, that is uncroppable already. It will grow nothing. And the biggest problem is cassava. Cassava is one of the best plants in the world for extracting every nutrient out of the soil.
A lot of your team, a lot of people that are working on your farm are actually old women. Not necessarily old men or young women or young men. Why is it the old women, the grandmas that are in the fields?
Two reasons. The men of that working age are either dead or incapacitated. The lifespan for a male in Isan is not too good. They are lucky to see 60. The women traditionally in their culture have always been the hard workers. Okay, the men, I don't want to say they're lazy, but in their culture they seem to sit underneath a tree while the women do the work. Okay, so if I had to employ somebody here to work farm, what they say work farm, I would take a woman over a man every time. That, not all cases, right? My last worker unfortunately died in a motorcycle accident, my farm manager, right? And I didn't do very much work other than cut grass and look at cows and drink coffee.
Before you had the easy life, right, for a little while.
A lot easier. Yeah. Once he died, it's been extremely difficult to replace him. I cannot find anybody here that is free that can drive a tractor. Okay, and they're very reluctant to learn. I've said to my staff, I'll take you out in the paddock, right, and I'll teach you. We do nothing to hit. Okay, drive around, I'll tell you how to use the gears. But they're old ladies, so because they're shorter than me, they do all the low work, like the shoveling work, and they're great at using a shovel. Fantastic, because they were brought up with a shovel in their hand or a hoe in their hand.
Yep.
Right, so we worked out a system where I drive the tractor, I do the heavy stuff, right, and I'm still pretty big for my age.
Well, it seems like it's a good workout, isn't it? And it's a good workout for you.
It's going to the gym twice a day.
And how do you feel then about getting older then here? Like, what are your thoughts about getting 80s, 90s? How are you thinking about that?
Yeah, I'm worried about that. I wish I was 40 and doing what I'm doing now, because if I was 40 years old and I had 20 years, 30 years in front of me, I could transition on my own with the help of the ties, and I'm pretty influential when it comes to influencing people. I could transform their primary industry here in Thailand. It would take me 10 years. I don't know if I can do it in 10 years, but we're just starting now, right? And I'm making small progresses. We just got allocated 10 million baht for Wagu semen from the livestock department. So I'd like to think that was my input.
So wait a minute, I asked you as well. You said, I'm worried about that. I thought you were worried about yourself, your health, but you're actually worried about your project.
Yes.
What about yourself?
I'm fine. Blood pressure's 120, resting heart rate's 55.
Yeah.
I've been sick a few times. I've had the flu and bits and pieces, but you just got to... I'm the old school from Australia. Yeah. We basically almost got to have one foot in the grave for us to stop. So,
right.
It would take 4 or 5 ties to keep up with me.
Yeah.
I'm slowing down a bit now, though, I must admit.
Yeah.
I would love to have my little manager back. It would seriously take the pressure off me. And
how old's your truck, Colin? 20 years old. You're definitely a farm truck. I love your ignition. How you start her up. Old Nissan truck 2004. So you say this is the second best Wagu in Thailand?
Yeah, my mate's farm's full blood, 100%. Mine are 75%,
right?
50 and 75, and a couple of 87s. Really no benefit in doing 100% Wagu because their frame size is too small. And my opinion, this is just my opinion, is that the Japanese cows acclimatised to the cold weather, and I like to keep a little bit of indigenous disease-proof Brahman in them at 25%. Still produce an extremely good steak.
What about immune systems and things like that as well?
Absolutely boosts their immune system. Having a little bit of the reason. One of the reasons they have Brahman here is they're bulletproof. They can lick concrete and survive. Yep. Okay, a Wagyu goes without food for a day, it'll drop dead.
Yep.
Okay, so...
And you say you have the biggest Wagu farm in Thailand, is it?
I think so. I've got 170 head.
170.
So I don't think there's any farms bigger than mine.
This is your ignition.
Yeah, beauty, isn't it?
There you go. Functional.
Works.
And if people want to order your beef, you have a Facebook page they can go to. I'll leave the link below.
Yes, Sangsi Farm.
Sangsi Farm.
Contact me on Messenger or give me a call.
Yeah, and you can send that
or just Google
delivery as well, right?
If you Google, if you Google Wagu Thailand or Sangsi Farm, will come up on your Google search.
Yeah. And for you, what is the ultimate goal, Colin? Because it doesn't seem to be about money for you.
No.
If it was about money, it's not about extravagant cars or anything like that.
Self-funded retiree from Australia. My income from my rental properties in Australia is $12,000 Australian per month net after tax. So no, money is not the object.
Yeah.
I came to Thailand with a bit of a good heart goal to help these people out.
Yeah.
And I'm achieving it very, very slowly.
Yeah, yeah.
But I will make a difference.
Good.
I will make a difference.
I think you will, mate. So this is definitely one way to travel when you're on the farm. I'm on the back of the trailer here. And just one thing that I've learned about Colin since chatting with him here is Colin's the kind of guy that knows his shit. He really does know what he's talking about, and that's why I'm not surprised he's been hired as an expert in doing this.
Colin, come here. He's the same name as me, and I can't kill him. So
this is Colin, and this one you can't
I'm not allowed to kill because he was a gift from my father-in-law when he was a baby, a little calf. He now weighs 800 kilos. Okay. And his primary job on the farm is to let me know when the female cows come on heat. So he goes and jumps on them, basically. Oh, really? We call, in slang, a push sniffer. Okay? So that is his
Is that a technical term?
Technical term, yeah. The technical term is a teaser bull. A teaser bull.
Oh, a teaser bull.
Although he's a steer, he can't mate. He doesn't have any balls.
Yeah.
He can't mate with the cattle, but what he does is
Jumps on them.
he lets me know
that
this one's ready for artificial insemination.
Okay.
So he is actually worth his money just to stay at the farm and do that for me.
You said your family used to be farmers. Was it in beef or not?
No, we had sheep, cattle, dairy cattle, a few beef cattle, not many.
Yeah.
In south of Perth in Western Australia. I was born on a farm, and by the time I was 4 years old, I could drive a tractor and a car, right? And I can explicitly remember sitting on my old Massey Ferguson tractor and my dad telling me to aim for that red gum in the far corner of the paddock while we're feeding the cows.
Yep.
So I've always had an affinity for the farm, and economically we had to sell the farm when I was about 15 at high school, and then always kept a bit of an interest, did a bit of mustering in the northwest, just helping out and things like that.
Yeah.
And I met Nock and she had land, and I said, how about we
start the family business?
Yes. So this one here is an F2. So she's 75% Wagyu, brilliant specimen. Mm-hmm. Okay, so she will produce an F3 calf if you cross it with a full-blood Wagyu, and the offspring will be 87% Wagyu. We're trying to terminate the herd here at F2, F3, and maintain a little bit of percentage of the indigenous Brahman cows here.
For the reasons you were saying about immunology
and disease control.
Okay.
They do. The black cows do adjust. Every animal adjusts to the climate. Okay, but I just feel that keeping a little bit of indigenous cow in them is a good thing. Now this big girl here, she's only 50% Wagyu. It's a little bit difficult to tell the difference between an F1 at 50% and an F2 at 75%, mainly from the horns. With a F1, their horns are a lot more upright, okay, and bigger. And they get smaller and smaller and smaller as you get more Wagyu in them. Good quality beef, restaurant quality beef, is easily achievable out of F2, which is 75% Wagyu. Absolutely no reason to go above F2. It can be achieved with F1 at 50%, and I've done it here, but the feed has got to be a little bit better than, say, your F2. Genetically, 75% Wagyu is the way to go. In Australia, 90% of the export Wagyu is F1, crossed with Angus.
Okay.
Angus are the next best marbling breed down from Wagyu. Okay. And the whole world now has changed to marbling. The quality of the meat's measured by the amount of marbling in it. Oh yeah, okay, I'm here. You want to go and get some food? Yeah, I'm moving the tractor. She's talking to me. I want food, Dad. I want food. She's an F1. See how big she is? Mm-hmm. 5 years old, F1. So here's an F3, right? 3 years old. Look at the difference in size.
Yep.
And she won't grow much bigger than that.